Mayor.
Okay. Would someone like to move the
So move, Mr. Mayor.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Ryan? Carried. We have some minutes from our council meeting on September 20th. Would someone like to move the approval of the minutes, please?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Chopping at the bit.
That's great. Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Reminded. Carried. Next, Councilor Gregor, we have some CC minutes to ratify.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. In accordance with Section 41(3) of the City of Corner Brook Act, where a decision is made by the councillors at a privileged meeting, the decision, in order to be valid, shall be ratified at a public meeting of the council. The following minutes are being brought forward for ratification. Council and committee meeting, September 20th, 2022, CC 22-027, approve of agenda. It is resolved to approve the agenda as circulated. So be it resolved, Mr. Mayor, to ratify minutes CC 22-027, approval of agenda. So moved.
Okay, thank you. Seconder?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried.
Council and committee meeting, September the 20th, 2022, CC 22-029, purchase of private land behind Sunny Slope Drive and Cosset Place. It is resolved to approve execution of the purchase and sale agreement between the City of Corner Brook and the owners of the privately owned land located behind Sunny Slope Drive and Cosset Place for land located behind Sunny Slope Drive and Cosset Place. It is resolved to ratify minutes CC 22-029, purchase of private land behind Sunny Slope Drive and Cosset Place. So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Seconder?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried.
That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. And it's just a reminder, I guess, sometimes certain business has to be done in camera, which means off camera, and when it's related to things like land, legal, and labor. Do we have any business arising from the minutes? Can't recall anything.
I have a quick question.
Yes, go ahead.
22158,
22.
update on transit route to long-term care.
Okay.
After getting a few calls from residents asking if this is just for a select few, anyone can use it, and what would the process be in using the transit, or using a taxi to long-term care?
Okay, Mr. Charters?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Anyone can use the service as long as they're going to the long-term care center, or the hospital for that matter. But all trips start and end at the transfer station out here on Park Street. All passengers must pay this fare of $3.50 or display monthly bus pass. And then what happens, passengers are asked to make their way to the transfer station, whether that's using transit, walking, however they need to get there. Once they get there, the operator of the bus that they would like to take will call a cab. We're alternating, both local taxi companies are on board, so we'll alternate back and forth, and they will get a cab. The cab will come to the transfer station and take them up to the long-term care center, and vice versa.
Yes, go ahead.
Hours, same as the bus schedule, or is it different?
Same as the bus schedule.
Okay, perfect. Good. Anything else?
Mr. Mayor, with respect to the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation,
Yes.
maybe it would be worth just noting that and how our day went that day.
Yeah.
I attended the initial event at Majestic Square Plaza.
Yep.
I mean, I know we had a massive cruise ship in that day. So just wondering, how we all felt about how that day went. I felt like it went really, like for the little part that I participated in, I thought it went really well.
Well, as I mentioned, I think at the previous committee meetings, our staff did have contact with the band previous, because we did have this conflict in terms of the big cruise ship. And we wanted to make sure, of course, we were respecting that day, and who better to ask but our local band here, Halibu. So staff talked with Halibu, I talked with the chief as well about it, to make sure, I guess, that we were marking that day appropriately. I think the band was very eager, in fact, to have so many people in the downtown, that area, and welcome them up to the barbecue that was going on at Majestic
It
Lawn.
was great, actually. There were a lot of cruise ship passengers that came and signed the banner that they had there, so we've got signatures on that banner from wherever those folks came from, which is good.
And as I understand, activity was ceased at the time when the people marched as part of National Day for Truth and Reconciliation as
Yes.
well. So a very powerful symbol, of course.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I can jump in?
Yes.
I did a couple of the bus tours that day, and the ones I had in the afternoon were here earlier in the day, and they thoroughly were impressed by the activities on Majestic Lawn. They were, I guess, blown away as where they're from the UK, most of them.
Yeah.
And this was their first port of call coming across, and they were very impressed what they saw, and just the fact that we took the day as a country to recognize this important part of our history.
Yeah, it's extraordinary. Absolutely. Okay, thank you for that. We have some proclamations and...
Mr. Mayor, I did
Oh,
one more.
oh, sorry, go ahead, yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. Just on, where was it? 22-149, the Pratt Street subdivision. Just wondering, we did a stop work order last meeting. Has anything transpired with this since? Is the work stopped now for good or ongoing? Do we have any further development?
Mr. Charles?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, there's no further developments. As I understand it, work is stopped, and that's it.
That's
for
where it
now.
stands.
I'm
Okay.
sure they have been in contact with staff, but I'm sure they'll work out the issues moving forward for next construction.
Okay. And I have one other item, Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
just to update 22-160 public budget consultations, which our Finance Administration Committee held on Thursday past. Just to let people know, we did have 7 submissions from residents, so just wanted to thank people for that. We didn't have any in-person presentations, but we did have 7 submissions, so ranging from transit to other items, but mostly I think transit was the one that came up most. I just wanted to let everybody know that that was held.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Anything else? Okay. Proclamations, there's a number of things going on. September was declared as Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. October 1 to 7 was declared World Breastfeeding Week. October is declared Child Abuse Prevention Month, and we had representatives here today. And as well, this is Small Business Week. So again, it was good to have representatives of the business community here to mark that important week. And that's all week, so there's things going on. So I think the Board of Trade and BDC are promoting that week in particular. So look online, and I'm sure you'll find lots of events to mark this week.
And Mr. Mayor, the awards are on Thursday night. The Business
Yes.
Excellence Awards are on Thursday night, and we've got a lot of good nominees throughout our community, a lot of good business representation.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you. Next, we have an item here. Councillor Griffin has asked to have code of conduct policy on the agenda. The floor is yours, Councillor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A couple of years ago, Council approved a code of conduct policy. Now the province has brought forward new legislation and we'll have to revisit this. I have issues with the code of conduct as it appears to be ineffective. I see some councillors violating our media rules by speaking for council when they are not authorized to. I have also seen disrespectful conduct occur to one another without resolution. Personally, I've been the target of appropriate conduct. Back in November, Councillor Pender referred to me using the name of a cartoon character. This may seem to be minor transgression, and I know that we all say things in the heat of the moment, but the councillor refused to accept responsibility at the time. Surely I would have accepted a sincere apology on the spot. Another time, while in conversation with members of the public in the gallery following a council meeting, Councillor Pender disagreed with my approach and said, "Are you dense?" I found this particularly offensive, as it showed disrespect in front of members of the public in this very chamber. I sought mediation through the process outlined in our current code, but Councillor Pender was not interested in participating. Under policy, my only other further option is to ask the city manager to hire an outside law firm to conduct an investigation. I think this is a terrible use of time and taxpayer money for something that could have been easily solved with an apology. Mr. Mayor, I truly believe that serving on council is a privilege and not a right. I also believe that with privileges comes responsibility. I know at times we say things we don't mean. It happens. We're only human. In these instances, we own up to our mistakes and we apologize. Not because we have to, but because we want to. I hope we can find better ways to address the issue of respect and a new code of conduct. Everyone deserves to have a respectable workplace, and this chamber serves no different. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And Mr. Mayor, I'll just reserve comment.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Can I ask a question?
absolutely.
Are we not, and I think you might have alluded to this today when we were having an informal chat, Mr. Mayor,
Yeah,
are we not scheduled to receive training on the new Code of Conduct Act and regulations?
as I understand, and I'll defer to the clerk, but if I'm incorrect, as I understand, we are not, they were trying to schedule training sessions. Yeah, but the issue is that it seems like the ones they're scheduling now may or may not be applicable to the city of Corner Brook, Mount Pearl, and St. John's, as we have current different legislation in place. But
We're in consultation with municipal peers to try to arrange a training package. So and we started our review of the code of conduct policies, so that's an internal committee that's formed. So there will be mandatory training. It just might not be on the days that council's notified for that October 28th date. So we should know something later in the week.
So will we know by, I think Friday is the one this week.
October 20.
that training, as far as we know, is not applicable to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I won't
Yeah.
have time to-
So we can,
We'll find out.
yeah, go ahead,
Okay,
Deputy.
so in light of, I guess, what was just read out, I think we may be in need of some training, but I'm not sure a training package is going to cover it per se. I think we need us all in the same room, told the rules, told the regulations, and everybody gets the same message at the same time.
Yep.
Because I wouldn't want my worst enemy going through an investigation. I will tell you that. Number one, it costs money, it costs time, it costs energy, and it's embarrassing to everybody that's involved.
Yep.
So I would never want anybody to have to go through that, Mr. Mayor.
Yep, okay,
Just
So-
saying.
thank you.
So, Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
so just to be clear, the sessions I signed up for
May
may
go
not
on.
may
be.
not happen,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
But Mr. Mayor, somebody will confirm that for Friday, right?
We were trying to, I know Jessica was trying to get some more information from Municipal Affairs to make sure we could all attend. But then they sort of said, well, ooh, that may not apply to you. So, obviously too, remember, this code of conduct training is not just for council, it's for staff as well. So this orientation, it's slightly different, of course, requirements, but an organization as big as ours, how we do that is a little more of a challenge, and it's something that we have tasked our HR department with, right?
One more question.
Yes.
Don. Don't have a clue what I was going to
Okay,
ask.
hold on to it. Write it down if you get a note and send us an email. Okay? Thank you very much.
Oh, I know. Can I ask now?
Go ahead.
So the old code of conduct that we got, that we just did back in whatever date it was, will that be null and void once we start the new code of conduct? Or will we be revising the one we got?
We already have one policy, but just had some training last week, so you might be able to keep the existing policy and we're prepared to what they're proposing, just to make sure we've got everything covered off, that's in the act and in the regulations. So we're working with municipal peers on that as well, so we're sending in a copy of our policy.
Okay, thank you.
So it may or may not have to be revised, is what we're saying, right?
There may be some new stuff there,
Yeah,
I would
there's-
think.
because of
I
the
hope.
Okay? Okay. Counselor Gill, we have a consultant for pedestrian crossing improvements on O'Connell Drive.
Yes. So this request for decision is intended to address the selection of a prime consultant related to the O'Connell Drive pedestrian crossing improvements. This project is funded under the 2017-2020 multi-year Capital Works program and consists of infrastructure for the signalized pedestrian crossing at O'Connell Drive / Crestview Avenue, and will include bringing the crossing up to current accessibility standards. The City of Corner Brook requested proposals to select a prime consultant for the project. The motion: be it resolved that the Council of the City of Corner Brook accept the proposal submitted by Globe Corporation for the O'Connell Drive pedestrian crossing improvements in the amount of $31,818.61, HT included. So moved.
Okay, thank you.
Seconded.
Seconded right here, excellent. Questions on this one?
So, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, go ahead.
So I'm assuming that these upgrades, Mr. Charters, are pertaining to site limitations, hearing loss, like we're upgrading to standards that are going to be accessible for our full population.
Just Mr. Charters?
Through you,
What?
Mr. Mayor. Yes,
Mr.
absolutely.
Mayor?
Yeah, address the chair. We try to make it a good habit. It's only, we're pretty informal sometimes, but it does avoid issues at times, so. Go ahead,
Thank you,
Mr.
Mr. Mayor.
Charters.
The equipment at the intersection is very old as well, so yes, the accessibility features will be for those folks who have sight impairments, hearing impairments, and also mobility impairments. So the curb cuts will be better, there will be the audible pedestrian signals and those things, so it'll bring it up to the modern standard.
Okay,
Mr.
Thank
Mayor?
you.
yes, go ahead.
Just a question on the lights themselves, because if you're going up or down hill sometimes in a vehicle, if you get too close to the line where you stop, you can't actually see the lights. We have this situation on West Valley, and it does occur on the lower set of lights on O'Connell. I'm not sure about these up by the store, the ones we're talking about. So some municipalities put an extra set of lights down lower by the, I guess, the pedestrian sign crossing, so people in small cars or whatever, they don't have to break their neck to see the light up above them. Has there been any consideration to the type of light that we put in, and can we look at this type of, system that they have elsewhere?
Okay, Mr. Charters?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, yeah, the standard, those are called, I lost it. Auxiliary heads, thank you, and primary heads. So the primary ones are out over the traveled way, and the auxiliary heads are lower on the pole. For that exact reason, sun, if there's a big vehicle sitting in front of you so we will definitely, I always recommend using auxiliary signals just for that purpose.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I did tell the director before the meeting that I was going to ask a question that I'm sure he would answer.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question, please.
Okay, anyone else? have a question?
Yeah, a question for Mr. Charters. I'm just wondering if some of that problem is where you're probably too close to the light when you stop, that if maybe they had some kind of a stop back about 10 feet where, is that something that's not there that should be there, or?
Yeah, and I don't know, Mr. Charters, you've forgotten more about traffic engineering than we'll know.
Or that's the only thing I remember. Through you, Mr. Mayor, there are design standards for the lines where you should stop, and there's cones of vision, so there's a lot of geometrics involved with it. So the answer to the question is, yes, we can set it up so you're far enough back you can actually see the signals. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes,
I've got a question, but it's on crosswalks in general, so I guess we could vote on this, and I can ask the question after the vote.
oh, you can go ahead. I mean, it shouldn't affect the vote.
Just a question that came to my attention, didn't really notice it, but it was brought to my attention. In Corner Brook, we have numerous four-way intersections, and our crosswalks often are only on 3 of the 4 crossings. For example, if you're walking up the lower part of Ellswick, on the right-hand side walking up Ellswick, the lower part, to cross O'Connell Drive, you get up to the flashing red stop sign, then you have to take a left to cross Ellswick, then you got to take a right to cross the crosswalk on O'Connell, and then you have to take another right to cross Ellswick, the upper part of Ellswick, to continue on up O'Connell Drive if you were heading towards the park. If not, you've got to go up and turn right, and then you got to cross the street where there are no crosswalks further up O'Connell Drive. So why is it that in Corner Brook, we don't, in four-way intersections, or for any intersection for that matter, have the crosswalks all four accessed?
Mr. Chair?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. I'd have to look at that one in particular. I just don't recall the configuration, but typically where there is no sidewalk crossing the street, you cannot put a crosswalk there. It's only where a pedestrian facility crosses the road, which is, it can be an unmarked or marked crosswalk. But again, I haven't looked at that one in detail, but I could certainly have a look at it.
I do believe in this particular case, there are sidewalks on all sides of those streets, O'Connell and Upper and Lower Ellsworth.
So, sometimes in my past, if you wanted drivers to focus on one in particular, it's safer that way instead of having one here and one here. Sometimes you want to have it back further from the different, there's all kinds of reasons where you're right, it is typical at a signalized intersection to have crossings all around. But again, I'd have to look at it to see what the particulars are.
So, Mr. Mayor, could we just ask for the director to review situations in Corner Brook like that?
It sounds like he's going to take a look.
Yep. I'll take
And we can just send something out to council.
Thank you, Mr.
If we
Mayor.
need to express, I guess, investigate any further, for sure.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else there? Can we vote? Oh, no, one more?
Just on that, and I know we shouldn't probably go into the one on Ellsworth, but there's a big tree when you're coming by the flashing red stop sign. There's a big tree on the left, and that is actually a really bad blind spot.
Okay.
So, I mean, maybe we could have a look at all of those things when you're looking at that crosswalk.
Yeah, but anytime you see anything like that, or anyone in the public sees something like that, call
It has been recorded, Mr.
637-1666.
Yep.
And right away, someone, especially when it comes to visual
Visual over there is
issues.
terrible.
Obviously, we had one I know recently that someone sent in up in the Heights, where there was a tree growing out near a stop sign and impairing the view as you were trying to look. If you're turning left, it was a bit dangerous, and our Public Works were right on there and just did trim a couple branches, and it made all the difference.
It's
So,
a big bottom, big
yeah,
piece.
yes.
Well, not necessarily on the crosswalk thing, but it has to deal with the crosswalk thing. Just up from the Lonas complex there in Curling, I know that's provincial, I think, right? But there, where they have the signs to mark that there's a crosswalk ahead, the sign is deteriorated beyond repair. You can't even, it's almost falling over and it's all rusted. So I did mention that to the director today, too, if he could
Okay.
have it looked in.
Follow up with the
Yeah.
province and
Yeah.
we'll sort it
Yep,
out.
I asked staff to have a look.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. Okay, so for the prime consultant agreement, I'll take it to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. We have a change order for the Regional Recreation Center, number 10. Councillor Keeping.
Mr. Mayor, before you,
Yes.
is this the Recreation Center?
Yep, so you're in a conflict.
Mr.
And
Mayor, I
you're in a
don't know I am,
conflict?
but I'm just going to make people aware that I am working at Grenfell on a short-term contract,
Yep.
so I don't know if it's conflict of interest or not, because I have nothing to do with the administration of it, but,
Yeah, I think unfortunately, the legislation has been pretty clear on that. And even in the case where councils have ruled that a councillor wasn't in a conflict, there was a case, I believe, Gander had with NAV Canada, had a councillor, and the council actually, I think, ruled them out of conflict, but subsequently the courts ruled they were in. So I don't think we can get around that.
no, Mr. Mayor, I was just
No,
explaining
I know, I'm
why
just-
I'm considered in
Yeah.
conflict.
Yeah.
Because I have a short-term contract
Yeah,
agreement.
yeah.
And Mr. Mayor, I have a very long term.
That's right, that's right. So, yeah, so I mean, unless there's some objection, I'd say that you're both in conflict of interest and should refrain from participating in this
I shall be quiet.
specific issue, right? You don't have to leave because it's public meetings,
No,
okay? Okay. So, Councillor Keeping, would you walk us through this one?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Due to the exterior envelope upgrades approved as part of change order number 1, it was advised that modifications, upgrades to the existing Dictron unit will be required to mitigate the increased risk of condensation. Scope of work includes upgrading the supply duct and diffusers coming at the Dictron unit to supply as much air to the glass as possible. Pomerleau presented 2 options to help mitigate the risks, which were presented to SNC Limited and were discussed with the city of Corner Brook. It was instructed in FRI number PRE-35 to proceed with option number 1. The estimated amount of $100,000, HST included, was approved by council in the meeting of May 9, 2022. The minute 22-065. The cost, as per change order number 10, is $108,836.78, HST included. The proposed resolution, be it resolved that the City of Corner Brook Council approved change order number 10 between the City of Corner Brook and Pomerleau for an increase of $108,836.78, HST included, for the Corner Brook Regional Recreation Center. I so move.
Thank you very much. Would someone like to second that?
I'll second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Questions on this one?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, one question. The $100,000 HST included was approved at a council meeting on May the 9th, 2022.
Yeah.
And now, the way it's read there, it reads, the cost is per change order number 10 is $108,836.78, HST included. So is that an extra $108,836.78 above the $100,000 that we approved back in May the 9th? Or is it $8,836.78 more?
Mr. Charter?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. At the time the original change order was approved by council, we were estimating the value of that unit at $100,000. Now that the design is much further advanced, we're only talking about an $8,000 change above what was already approved.
Yeah, which is the way that I read it, Mr. Mayor, but when you read it, it almost looks like we're adding another $108,000 on for the $100,000 that was approved, but as long as it's $8,000, not another $108,000.
Perfect. Yep.
Just
Okay.
for clarification. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Any other questions? Yes, go ahead.
I guess just for the public, change orders are always occurring when we have big projects on the go like this, but sometimes they're a hard pill to swallow because you think that the homework is done and everything is ready to go and the cost is sort of down to what we hope it would be, and then all of a sudden it's change order number 1, 2, 10, 12, right, on up through. So all that's doing is adding to our cost, and it's our cost on the dollar at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And the thing with this one to remember, of course, is this is a design-build
I know.
contract, so there is anticipated a lot of design changes and little things that are going to happen throughout the, we are currently under budget, under our approved budget for quite a while. And of course, you know, there's a lot to do still, but you're absolutely right. And especially this type of contract, it is expected that we're going to see, you know, some change, additional costs, some trading. There's an ability for us as part of this type of contract as well. If you know, if we get into particular situations where we have to make changes, and we might make changes to other aspects to compensate for that and save some money. So it is an active project. Mr. Charters, you're managing the project. Tell us about it.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, these change orders hurt no one more than me, but I would say that you will also see in the future minus change orders coming in for changes made to the opposite. So there is some good news coming, some items that were changed, and they'll be minus off the contract. I'm sure the change orders that were plus will outweigh those, but I just wanted council to be aware that you will see some coming in where the contract budget number goes down.
It's good news.
Thank you. Any other questions before we vote? Okay. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Okay, and Councillor Keeping, we have another item there, Transit Smart Card System. So this is something we recently received some funding for.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council approval is required to move forward with the Transit Smart Card System project. The City of Corner Brook recently accepted funding for the Smart Card System through the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program. Working with the City of St. John's staff has requested a quote for the supply and installation of equipment from Payment in Motion. We'll both supply the equipment and develop the back-end platform required to operate the system for Metrobus. Since the City of Corner Brook will be availing the back-end platform created for MetroBus, there was not a tender process undertaken for this project, and as a result, this will be a single source award for the following reasons. A standalone back-end platform created specifically for Corner Brook Transit will be at least double the cost to implement the service. Alternative equipment, card readers and validation equipment will not work with the system that MetroBus already has in place. And system can be implemented on a much shorter timeline, targeted of January 1st, 2023. And smart card users in Corner Brook can use the MetroBus system and vice versa. Be it resolved that the Council of Corner Brook award the supply and installation of the smart card system at a cost of $123,855, HST included. I so move.
Thank you. Seconder on that?
Mr. Mayor, second.
Excellent. Okay, any questions on this one? Anything?
Mr. Mayor, I just wondered if maybe Mr. Charles can explain how the system actually works.
Yeah, go ahead.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I'll do my best. What a smart card is like, it looks like an access card that we all have for the building here. And what you would do is you go into your regular sales outlets, whether that's City Hall or City Pharmacy or Grenfell or wherever, and they'll have equipment there so you can load that card. So if you wanted to buy 20 trips, you could buy 20 trips. And it's just a digital way of processing payments.
Mr. Mayor, will we be offering any training, I guess, to members of the public who might need it, or will that just be done at point of sale?
Mr. Charters?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the load, it's very simple to use. But yes, we will, once we get ready to implement the system, we'll put the information out to riders, how you use it. It's essentially, you just hold it to the reader. It's very simple, but yes, we will, that will be part of our education campaign.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anything else? No, I think it's great. Again, this is another hurdle too that we will, I'm assuming, follow up now with the province as well to look into the possibility of jumping on the pilot program, which gets members of, I guess, the income support public, as well as I think a few other groups now potentially can avail of provincially funded transit. So if we can get the same program that's on the go in MetroBus, fantastic.
That's the next step.
Yeah, good. Okay, if there's nothing else, we'll vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counter-minded. Carried. Okay, Councillor Griffin, we have a discretionary use for a apartment building, 71 Phillip Drive.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just for the overview for the public, the City of Corner Brook has received an application requesting permission to convert the existing building at 71 Phillip Drive, Corner Brook, NL, into an apartment building. The property is the former location of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. The building is located in a residential medium zone where the proposed use apartment building is considered a discretionary use of the City of Corner Brook's development regulation. The application was received by the West Coast Wire, City of Corner Brook website, and notice of occupant letters to residents in the neighborhood. The city was contacted by neighbors living in the vicinity of the proposed apartment building, with 4 supporting and 4 against the proposed development. A summary of the concerns are outlined in the attached memo. Be it resolved, the Council of the City of Corner Brook in its authority approved the application for the proposed apartment building at 71 Phillip Drive, Corner Brook, NL. I so move.
Thank you. Seconder on this.
Second?
Thank you. Questions on this one?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, a couple questions.
Go ahead.
The proponent in the description that was presented to the city identifies that the complex, 13 or 14 units, would be for mature living. What's, for the public's understanding, and for mine, what is mature living? Would it be seniors, working couples, single working individuals? What's mature living?
Mr. Charters?
That's a great question. I'll have to look into the actual definition of mature. Anyway, yes, I do not know the answer to that. I suspect people think of students or things of that nature, so I will ask for a definition of that
And
terminology.
the other question, Mr. Mayor, would be around the building size, the current layout, the height of the building, and the proponent indicates that there will be no change to the current building size and the current height. For any future development, a proponent that would have that building now with 14 units, if they, in the future, wanted to add a story to that particular building, which may have been some of the reasons why some of the residents, or the 4 or 5 residents, or calls, whatever the number was, may have been said, well, if a 2-story or a 3-story goes on the building, it would probably disrupt their view of the city, because it is up on our part of our terrain in Cornerbrook. So they would have to come back to the city to apply at that point in time if they were going to ask for, an extra story or 3 stories to be added to that particular building, correct?
Again, I would assume that well, 2 things, of course. Adding additional stories after completing a project would be probably cost prohibitive, like it's not very likely. So, but from a development perspective, I don't know, Mr. Charters, I guess what effect would be there?
From what I understand, there is no intent to add additional stories. Like the mayor said, that would be extremely costly, and you probably couldn't do what they are asking to do on the structure as it is now. You would have to have significant foundations developed, so.
Well, my question is, Mr. Mayor, they would have to come back to the city to get a permit, for a building permit, in order to make an additional story. They wouldn't be just able to go ahead and build another story on it. They'd have to come back and follow the regulations of the city.
Yeah, and again, whether or not, the only question is whether or not, I think you're getting at whether it's a building permit issue or a development permit issue. So it's a discretionary use in that zone, so the initial, to put an apartment building there, period,
Will be
requires
approved,
council
right.
approval.
Yep.
But whether or not, I don't know how much of a substantial change would require another discretionary use application. I can't imagine.
I can't either. To take a building from 1 story to multiple levels would definitely require a building permit.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my point, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, and again, I think that, and we see this quite often, that there's modifications made to buildings, very typically, like, unless it's a new construction, like we're seeing at the end of West Street, where there is they're starting from scratch
Multiple
to say,
story.
we know it's going to be multiple stories.
Yep.
Because generally, it's very difficult from an engineering perspective to add multiple stories. But I could see, like, okay, potentially down the road, if an owner of a building like this wanted to add an extension on the building, that happens, and we do have rules around that in our development regs for the limits for that kind of development as well. So there may be some things that aren't set in stone, even though they're indicating this is their intention right now, for sure, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yep.
I was just going to say, if a developer comes in and has an application like this and totally changes what they're going to do there, that's unacceptable.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, yes.
I
Go
guess
ahead.
the question I have is, how was the decision made in light of the fact there are a number of people opposed to it and there's a number of people in support of it? Do you look at this and say 4 against, so we're going to cut it down the middle and say it's okay? What is taken in consideration when there's so many opposed and so many for?
Mr. Charters?
Through Mr. Mayor, I think our staff obviously they look at the people that are against such developments, but to say it's 4 and 4 against probably isn't accurate, because most people who are for it, we look at it from the broader context of what's best for the city. We feel it's a very good use for that building in that area, so that's how we look at it.
Just want clarification.
I just, further on down, I'm looking, and I'm seeing the memo from Deanne Rummel, Manager of Development Planning, and he states that the applicant has indicated the building height will not change. It's estimated to have approximately 14 units, which we knew, and tenants will be considered mature, which we knew. But further on down, it says the complaints were development will create more traffic in the area, reduce property value, and concern may be who would be living in the building. So that, I don't know how we could,
Yep.
that's pretty straightforward. Genuine concerns, but
Yep.
we moving on. Yeah.
Yep, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, initially I didn't have much issue with the problem. I see the concerns raised. As for the traffic, I guess there was a school at one time, so I assume they would not have any more cars than they probably had at that time. I don't, I understand that's always an issue for people. But there's also, wait for the fire truck to go by. Hopefully it's nothing serious. We also do have a desperate need for housing in the city, and especially, I took mature housing as meaning people who are seniors 55 plus. This is a one-story building which would be ideally suited for somebody who has accessibility needs or whatever. So that is what I sort of understood the intention to be here. So I don't have a problem with the building. The height issue, now that it's raised, is something that I would ask, and I don't see any reason, if that's the intention to not put another story on it, that we make that as part of the conditions of the permit, because while we could do it under discretionary use here, if they came back to get a building permit, that would not come to council, that would be a decision of our building and planning departments. So if council feels that the height of the building is an issue, and we wouldn't want to impede the view of the people who already live there across the street or whatever, then we could say, as a condition of our allowing this to go ahead, no more stories can be added to that building. And if that's their intent, there should be no issue with that as well.
Yep.
So I would propose that we. add
Mr.
that
Charters,
condition.
that's pretty typical, right?
Yeah, I'm fine with that, yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if we need an amendment, but I'll just propose that as an amendment to the permit.
Yeah, and I think that those kind of conditions are very typical with a discretionary approval, right? Okay?
Mr. Mayor, again, in my past life, I don't think you can just build on top. I mean, you just can't go to second story because you want to widen this as much as you may want to. I mean, there's structural issues there, engineering. This may never be able to have the second story because of the way it's designed there now and structured the way it is now.
Well, and I guess I don't think, I doubt it's very likely that it would happen. And if council wants to go that way, I don't think,
I doubt it
Makes
as well,
any
Mr. Mayor,
difference.
but I think for to alleviate any concern of the public and residents in that area who might have that concern, by saying that now, then we eliminate that issue.
So we're going to say no for site view? Is that what we're saying? Because people can look out and see stuff now, went second story, you wouldn't be able to see it? Is that where we're going?
well, I don't know, I don't know what the nature of the concern is. I'm assuming the only real concern here sounds like you're saying that is
Because didn't we have the same issue
it's
on,
about view as well, right?
didn't we have the same issue, I think, on banisters where they could, people on the upper side could look out the bay, and then when they put all
yeah.
the condos there, and all of a sudden, now you can't look out the bay, so
Yep.
would you stop the building because of that?
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I used to live on Phillip Drive, and I always wondered what would become of that property. I'm really pleased that this is moving forward. Just want to draw attention to the fact that the applicant in the memo here has indicated that the building height and size will not change.
Right.
So, I mean, they're not intending to build up, and again, as Councilor Pender indicated, they would have to apply down the road to amend that. So I don't think that the height of this building is going to be an issue. The footprint of the property is very large, and if they were going to expand, they've got lots of room there to make an addition if they want to, without having to go up.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, my initial question wasn't not to vote against this particular proposal, but it was in this forum, in this room, to ask the questions such that we're on the record as to what direction we're going to take as a council. That was the sole purpose of me asking that first question.
If we were faced with a decision on a 10-story building, I think that we may or may not have different points of view. Personally,
Right.
I love it. I think that we need to look at density and ways to do these things, but other councillors may feel that ruining the viewscape for existing residents is more important, and that's just part of, but that's not what we're voting on tonight. We're voting on using the existing shell, and as described, and, 14 units. So,
Right.
okay, any other questions on this one? No? Okay, we're all good?
Yep.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded, Carried. Excellent. Okay, so we have a commercial vehicle permit first for 19 Carmen Avenue. Councillor Grantor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The City of Corner Brook has received an application to park a commercial vehicle on the property located at 19 Carmen Avenue, which is located in a residential medium-density zone. A notice was delivered to residents in the immediate area of 19 Carmen Avenue, and as a result of this notice, 1 email, 1 telephone message, and 3 phone calls were received. One of these phone calls involved 3 people expressing their concerns, and one of these 3 also forwarded the aforementioned email summarizing their concerns in writing. Of the correspondence, all 6 people were opposed to the issuance of a commercial parking permit for this location. The residents indicated that on-street parking of the vehicle, as well as traffic congestion, may occur. Safety, sight distance issues, possible increased property taxes, and noise were also issues that the residents expressed. The proposed resolution be it resolved that the Council of the City of Corner Brook refuse the application to park a commercial vehicle in a residential zone on the property located at 19 Carmen Avenue. So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
And I just want to say by moving it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to support it.
No, moving means refuse, right? But also, it doesn't mean you are going to vote that way.
Right, exactly.
Right. Very confusing. Would someone like to second this motion?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Now we can talk about it. Okay, anyone have any questions on this?
I do.
Yes, go ahead.
What kind of vehicle is it?
Mr. Charters.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I believe it's a 3-ton boom truck,
How big is that? How long is that?
30 feet-ish.
30 feet? Okay.
And it's just like, where is it gonna park? Like in front of their house? Like, where is it going? Oh, sorry, Mr. Mayor.
Charters?
Mr. Mayor?
You guys are so disciplined. It's really
Sorry.
good. Mr.
He's
Charters.
my person, sorry.
Mr. Mayor, there's current residents there. There's also an apartment. From what we see, there's not a lot of available parking, especially for a unit that large. So we really don't know where that would be parked. It would be difficult on that site.
The memo does say that there is sufficient parking, but it also does recommend against the approval.
Mr. Mayor, if it's just to follow up to my question, it would be helpful if we actually had a map to show where this thing is gonna go. Like I also used to live on Carmen Avenue, but I can't in my mind visualize
Right.
where this is. Like when we're talking about a 30-foot boom truck, is that what it is? I don't even know what that is. But, you know, it seems large, so where exactly is it going? Like X marks the spot on the map kind of thing would be helpful. I don't mean to hold up the proceeding. And also I noticed that the next motion we're about to do is for a home-based business, which I'm assuming is the same business that this truck is associated with, right?
Yeah, I think that's a safe assumption there. So there are 2 different things, of course. To operate a business in your home, you do need, it is a discretionary use of council to approve any business based out of a home. But in addition to that, in this case, yeah, they are
Right.
seeking a commercial vehicle. So this is where I guess too, just maybe helpful from Mr. Charters, from a policy perspective, because we do have, in some areas, we have allowed commercial vehicles in residential areas. How do staff make a recommendation on that typically?
Typically, they would visit the site to look at available parking, clearly, but also when they put it out to the neighborhood, if there was any objection, typically staff would apply the policy such that if any objections, they would refuse that application. So that's typically how it's been applied in the past.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes, go ahead.
I visited the site today because I wanted to find it for myself. There's actually parking in front of the house. I would assume that would be for the residents. But there's a big, long driveway going down to the side, and there's a sort of a shed in the back with there was a, I don't know, trailer or something parked in the back. I mean, if that's what he's looking at putting there, I can't see that being an issue for size. And it was recommended that parking would not be a problem. in our information package that we got.
Yeah, it does say that there
It does
is,
say,
it says that there is, the site inspection has revealed, there is sufficient parking at this location for the existing single dwelling use with subsidy apartment
Yeah.
and the proposed commercial vehicle. But then it says, after reviewing the application results to the notice to occupants, is recommended that the council refuse the application. Right? That's why I asked about the policy around that, because it is a bit confusing. Yeah. Go ahead.
And I apologize, I did not see Rob, and the deputy mayor was up and had a look at it. I don't know why would we recommend refusal?
And I think that's what Mr. Charters was saying, that typically it is is handled as a very light approval unless there's any objections by neighbors. So it's approval by consent, basically, by the neighboring properties.
But
I think,
The
Mr.
city
Charters,
is
in other typically, how would this be handled in other municipalities in your experience?
My experience is this would not be permitted. Council should have realized that this is a large truck. It's a very small, narrow road. Large trucks are very hard on asphalt, especially in the spring, so they're hard on the road. If that truck was parked on the street, it's very narrow. That could cause you issues there too. Backup beepers on the vehicle are loud at night and early in the morning. So in my past life, this would not have been permitted in that type of neighborhood.
Thank you.
yeah, just-
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, David. No, I just want to say that I was familiar with something similar, but
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to comment. I'm in a conflict.
But would we not have restrictions on the time that he could operate his vehicle? Like, you wouldn't expect someone to come in at 1 o'clock in the morning and start backing it up with, I mean, we do have a noise bylaw here, so you'd almost think that the rules of that would also fall over into this.
I guess there's an enforceability issue as well,
Definitely.
right? So,
And enforcement is done on complaints of neighbors,
and
so.
it's difficult sometimes to.
Mr. Mayor, I'm wondering,
count on
can we do it
that.
on like a trial basis, just to give it just to see how it works? Can we?
I don't know whether we have that ability to,
Okay, all right.
do we, Mr. Charters? Is there a term on this commercial vehicle license?
I don't believe so.
Permit's a permit, is it?
Once it's done, it's done?
Oh, I know this property.
Yeah. Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, I guess with discretionary motions is always hit and miss.
Yeah.
We do have a number of vehicles, commercial vehicles parked in private residence all over the city.
Yeah.
So, that's neither here nor there. When I read this, and I only got late, I didn't get a chance to go up and look, but somebody did take a picture for me, and I saw the property, and it's ample parking, there's no doubt. So staff says there is sufficient parking with the apartment and the residence taken into consideration. We don't know for sure if the permit that's being asked for in the second one, the home-based business, is for this business or not, but we assume it is. Could be for anything else, I don't know. So
It is,
It is, right?
yeah,
it is?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so we confirm that. I don't see what's different from parking there than parking on Fudge's Road in your 3-ton, 5-ton truck, whatever, or parking your tractor on, Premier Drive. People have commercial vehicles all over the city. So I'm wondering if, I don't know, are there some conditions that we can put on it? For instance, can't be parked on the road, for instance, I don't know if that's something. Or if it's, I hate to say no to home-based businesses, but this one is a little bit trickier.
Yeah.
Because staff does say they have ample parking. And that's usually the consideration we take into account first. The noise, I get that one, but then, if I have somebody across the street who starts up their diesel truck every morning at 5, not much I can do about that. And that'll make just as much noise in a pickup than, a larger truck. So, that's neither here nor there. Or the city clearing snow at night with their tractors backing up, getting the beeping for parking lots and so on. So noise is always a consideration everywhere in the city. So I don't see those as issues sufficient enough for me to say no. But on the other hand, I'm just trying to find a rationale other than some people didn't want it there, so we're going to, some recommendation is to say no. even though we've allowed it everywhere else in the city, even though there's sufficient parking there, and we could put conditions on it that it must be parked in the driveway when, when it's there or whatever, right? Because that's the only real concern that I saw that we can mitigate, is that it shouldn't be parked on the shoulder of the road. So if there's room for that and the cars, then they should be in the driveway. So like,
Yeah, I think that I would imagine the biggest issue in general, not necessarily in this case, for this type of thing and the reason why you wouldn't want commercial vehicles in residential areas is partly for aesthetics as well. You wouldn't want a big commercial vehicle parked in a residential area, generally, right? That's,
no, I fully agree, Mr. Mayor, but
Yeah.
I just say we do have it all over the city.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize.
But we
it was a
don't,
boom truck.
but the problem is, I guess, is that where we do have it around the city has followed the existing process. So we have turned down allowing people to park commercial vehicles in some areas, right?
But I do have one more question. So I
Yeah.
didn't realize it was a boom truck.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering about the height of it as such and the width, because even though there may be parking, a boom truck is a very big vehicle. And I didn't know that before I came here tonight. So,
Yeah,
do we know the height of the vehicle, Mr. Mayor?
I don't know.
I
Yeah,
guess it's fairly substantial.
typical boom truck would
Yeah.
be fairly.
I was thinking commercial vehicle, I was just thinking it was a truck with a box on it or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Mr. Mayor,
yep,
I just Googled boom truck.
Oh, they're big.
They're really big.
They can be, yes.
Also, I know that property, and it is very narrow. And it is a suburban neighborhood that doesn't have any other businesses in it. I do think aesthetics, and I do think that the neighborhood, the notion of neighborhood could be disrupted by a commercial vehicle of this size and loudness.
Yeah.
It's gonna be loud. That's just my 2 cents.
yep, well, that's it. That's why we all got an opinion on this one, I'm sure. Anyone other questions or things before we vote?
Mr. Mayor, I don't have a question, but I have a suggestion. Is next time we get one of these discretionary permits, can we get a little more fulsome information? Can we get a picture of the building and the lot, or a drawing? Can we get, some measurements on what the vehicle is?
Yeah.
In this case, now I know it's a boom truck. So that we can think about this ahead of time, or?
Yeah.
Because
The funny
I have
thing,
problems with my iPad, so I only got this like 6:30, right? So-
the funny thing I have with this one is I have the opposite approach. I don't want council to be involved in this. I think we need to move into our development regs where we specify types of vehicles that are and aren't allowed in certain zones. So if it is, you know what I mean, and there are guidelines, whether it's like, class of vehicle, I'm sure that there are like traffic standards on various kinds of vehicles. And we should, with our upcoming development regulations, or through our, I think we have a parking bylaw as well, really just define this, to make it black and white, so that, because council really, it's very difficult to evaluate on a case-by-case basis, because we know in different parts of the city, you have different types of neighbors and different types of neighborhoods, and some are friends and some aren't, and it's really hard to get into into this. It's the subtleties of it, and I fear that we won't make a good decision because of, like you said, it is very difficult to visualize and assess this, and I'd rather just have a rule on it. So you either are or aren't allowed to have it in a RMD. Easy peasy, right?
I fully agree with that, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to get rid of discretionary use altogether.
Yeah.
So we don't have.
So, I mean,
this position.
yeah, so I guess, that's but this is where the decision we're stuck with right now. I don't know, yes, go
Can we
ahead.
postpone it till we get more information?
I was
'Cause
just going to make
I
that
would
friendly
hate
amendment,
to
Mr. Mayor.
think that we're gonna make a decision, and obviously, if the next one is connected to home-based business,
Yeah,
then,
Well-
I'd hate to see somebody not be able to operate a home-based business within our city.
well, we're not going to get, though, I guess, just to be fair here, we're not going to get like a simulation of what it looks like. It's difficult, it's very difficult
Is he parking a truck
to,
there now?
I have no idea. But given any time, we don't know how it'll be parked, or, will it be the one close to the road, will it be in the back, will it be that's something we can't control or enforce if we did allow it, so it's difficult for us to assess it right now, right?
Mr. Mayor, I'd make a
Yeah,
motion to postpone decision on item 7-2, 7-2 on my agenda.
7-3.
7-2 commercial vehicle permit, 19 Carmen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until further information is gathered, whether that's through the gentleman, the proposal.
What further information, I guess, would you like to see?
Well, the actual size of the actual boom truck, the intent, I don't know the intent of the business in the next item, as an example. If it's a towing, if it's a tow truck kind of job, I'll just use that as an example. And we talk about noise nighttime. So anyone that operates a towing business would know that you're going to get calls 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And you could be going at 2 o'clock in the morning and you get your beep, beep, beep and your truck's backing up. Noise all hours of the day, that kind of thing. So that would have a big impact on the neighborhood compared to if the business is simply 7:30 in the morning till 4:30 in the afternoon, or 8 to 5 or 8 to 7:30 at night when, you know, the noise restrictions are on. So that information, I didn't see it. And unless it's really, really urgent, I think we should probably take the time to, at our next meeting, just if there's other information we can gather on 7-2 and 7-3, then I make a motion to postpone the decision until the next meeting.
I'm going to second that motion, Mr. Mayor, because I don't feel I have enough information. Part of that is I didn't get this evening because of my computer problem, but that's not a reason. I just don't feel I have enough information either, and I'm just concerned how the two of them are connected, the home-based business and this. If saying no to one means the other one doesn't go ahead or what, I'd like to have a little more information on that. And
Yeah, I mean,
I don't even know about the next one, to be honest with you now.
Yeah, I would argue that if the home-based business one, though, is somewhat irrelevant. If we gave approval for that and we don't have approval and that's germane to their business, then they wouldn't go ahead with it probably. So, you know, our approval of the home-based business really shouldn't, well, it only matters if we deny it, right?
Well, when we get to it, I'm going to suggest we postpone that one as well.
Yeah.
Until we get further information on how the two of them are intertwined.
Again, you got a motion on the floor here. I just don't think we're going to get any more relevant information here. I think we've got whatever we need, but we're just going to put this person off and not give them any certainty on what they can and can't do, so.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, if I can I speak to the motion?
Yeah, so the motion is there.
Just that, again, I would rather have too much information than not enough information, if there's such a thing as too much information. And for me to be able to make a clear decision and feel comfortable with it, that's why I made that motion to delay a decision here tonight.
Yep, okay. Okay, so we got what?
Just one more.
Yep.
I'll tell you what I struggled with. I'm not seeing anything here that tells me why it was recommended to be refused. I don't understand that. I mean, we've had lots of projects come through here. People want it, people don't want it, that kind of thing, and recommend acceptance. So I don't know what it is about this one, and I'm not seeing anything to say this is why we're recommending refusal. So there must be something there.
Yeah,
I don't
I
think,
think,
or is
again,
it just based on phone call?
I think that like I mentioned, the policy on the commercial vehicle thing, it is really, we're allowing it by consent of the neighborhood. If there is any kind of person or neighbor who doesn't want it there, then they can't have it. So
Okay.
that seems to be, that's what I'm getting from Mr. Charters in the
Okay.
policy that's stated in the letter,
Okay.
which is different than most
Yes.
things, because we do take into consideration what people think, but we also have to make a decision for the greater good,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And in this case here, staff are making the recommendation based on simply whether or not their next door neighbor likes it, you know, because it is a residential area, and in his opinion, we probably shouldn't be allowing it at all in a residential area. That's what I'm hearing, Mr. Charters.
Okay.
We will do what council wishes.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so allowing it by consent of neighbors, and this one was recommended to reject.
Yes.
And I know I'm going to bring up something now that probably is going to start.
Don't bring it up then.
For a few feathers. Our crematorium, there were 155 residents received letters, 95 submissions were received, 9 supporting, 86 against. 55% of those who received letters were against, but yet it was approved.
Yeah.
So in this case, we only had 3 or 4 phone calls and a letter and an email, but yet we rejected this boom truck being able to park.
No,
in-
we didn't reject it. Staff have
Staff
recommended not
recommended
allow
that
it.
we reject it.
That's right.
That's right. But it was recommended for the crematorium that we accept it.
Yeah,
So I'm not, and then tonight we also had 4 supporting, 4 against for Philip. And then we also had, Philip Drive, 71 Philip. But we still went ahead with that one. I'm not connecting pieces of the puzzle
So-
for me.
do you know why you're here?
Yes, I do know why I'm here, Mr. Mayor,
Well, why is that?
to represent the residents of the city, Mr. Mayor.
Right, so we don't do things by plebiscite here. We have to represent different opinions and use our judgment as counselors to try and figure out the right thing for the city.
I do know that that's exactly why
Yeah.
we're here, and I find that very insulting that you would actually ask me do I know why I'm here?
Well,
I've been here for 13 years, I do know why I'm here.
Okay.
I'm just trying to connect, and this is not a question I just asked right then. I asked this question previous to it.
right,
How do we make these decisions based on what? Of who
based on
did-
the information we're given, our job is to make decisions.
I know, I
Well-
know that, but all I'm doing is saying, in a case where there's a big outcry and nobody wants something,
Yeah?
it's recommended that we approve.
Yeah, but it's not based on simply whether or not people want it or not. It's based on a number of factors, in fairness to all the residents. And like I said, in the case of this is very much about an aesthetic kind of thing. It's about whether or not the neighbor, it sounds like by default, we wouldn't want commercial vehicles in a neighborhood, a residential neighborhood. But if the neighbors around consent to it, we would allow it. Right? So there are different types of decisions,
Mr. Mayor,
right? Yes.
may I see where Deputy Mayor Chazin is coming from, because it does seem to be a bit of a double standard in my mind with respect to commercial property, commercial vehicles in residential areas. The difference is that we don't have any control over the first one. And if today, it were brought to the table today, just as I am hesitating about putting a commercial vehicle of that size in that neighborhood, I would more than hesitate about putting a crematorium in that neighborhood. But that is not on the table right now. It is in the past, and I wish I could change it, but I can't. But going forward, as I've always said, I take residents over business. And in this case, unfortunately, for the soul who wants this truck put in here, my spidey sense is telling me that the neighborhood is not going to be very happy with that massive boom truck in that driveway. So, if I had the opportunity to make the same decision about the crematorium, I would, but I don't have that opportunity. But going forward, I certainly will use those same standards, so it's not a double standard. So I agree with you on that
I
point.
guess I'm trying to connect the dots, Mr. Mayor, that's all I'm trying to do.
Yeah, and I think that.
And that's
we
my
should-
role here.
Yeah.
Yes, what I'm doing here, I'm here to ask questions for people
Yeah,
of the city
excellent.
who
Yeah.
can't sit at this table.
Yep,
Mr. Mayor, I guess I hear the frustration, and that is the frustration with the discretionary power of council.
absolutely.
There is no rhyme,
That's
no
right.
reason. It depends on the 7 people sitting around the table at that one time who vote on a motion to either accept or reject the motion, and
Yeah.
that's it. And of course, when we have a municipal plan that gives very clear guidance and, says you can or cannot do it as a permissible use or not permissible, that is very easy, because it doesn't usually come to us, it's their
That's
staff
right,
to
yeah.
deal with. It only comes to us when it's not clear, and then it, a lot of times comes down to, as somebody said, the staff says, there's parking, there's, whatever, right? So on what basis are you gonna say yes or no? And that's coming down to your individual perception of how this fits or does not fit. And that's the only way you can work on that. And if you look at, not forgetting the previous comments on the other issue, but like Balsam Avenue, when that came up, we had recommendations, the road is not wide enough. The residents were against it. What could we do to make it work? And at the end of the day, councilors voted and said, we don't agree with it. Not everyone either.
But staff recommended that
Yes,
one.
and council said no, because
Yeah.
in that case, we said the residents had concerns, and we had concerns about the road and so on, and potential costs to the city further down the road. So it's a really hit and miss, it's one-off every time, there's no rhyme or reason. A councillor may say in the back of their minds, well, I voted this way consistently all the other times, but now this time I feel this way. So there's no consistency with these discretionary use motions that come in front of us. And again, as I've said before, I'd like to see discretionary use gone altogether. But, you know, we have it, we have to live with it, we have no choice, and these things are going to keep coming up. So with that said, Mr. Mayor, there is a motion on the floor, and I'm going to ask the call for the question.
Yep, there is a motion on the floor to postpone this to the next meeting, is that correct?
Well, actually, Mr. Mayor, the motion was, I believe I said 7-2 and 7-3, but I suspect that I should have the motion for 7-2 and that 7-3 to be brought to the floor to be discussed.
Yeah, we'll deal with this one because it's a subsidiary motion, yeah. Okay, yeah, so we'll deal with this one first. So I'll call the question on postponing this item, okay?
Yes.
So all those in favor of postponing this item say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded here. Okay, counterminded, okay. Okay, so we're going to postpone that one. So next, we've got the home-based business permit. And you're on for that one too, Councillor Granter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, the City of Corner Brook has received an application to operate a home-based business office from the dwelling located at 19 Carmen Avenue, which is located in a residential medium-density zone. A notice was delivered to residents in the immediate area of 19 Carmen Avenue, and as a result of this notice, 1 email, 1 telephone message, and 3 phone calls were received. One of these phone calls involved 3 people expressing their concerns, and one of these 3 also forwarded the aforementioned email summarizing their concerns in writing. Of the correspondence, 3 people had no objection to the home-based business office as proposed, while the remaining 3 did oppose the business, citing a worker for the business parking on the side of the road as an issue. Those opposed also indicated that by allowing the business may also promote the parking of a commercial vehicle on or near the premises, even if no city approval is granted for the commercial vehicle. It is not proposed to have anybody visit the property. Be it resolved, Mr. Mayor, that the Council of the City of Corner Brook approve the application to operate a home-based business office from the dwelling located at 19 Carmen Avenue in accordance with Regulation 11, discretionary powers of authority. So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, seconder on that?
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
Okay,
So, Mr. Mayor, as our previous discussion, can I make a motion that we postpone this one as well?
yeah, we could have just went probably right there,
Could have gone right
Councillor
there.
Granter, yeah.
I'll move that we postpone.
But you're going to make a motion to postpone? Would someone like to second that?
I did. Oh, no, I didn't.
I'll second.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we got a motion. Does anyone want to comment on this before we vote?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to know, if we're going for further information, I don't see it in my readings, what the nature of the home-based business was. And I don't know if I missed it, but I don't see it.
I think it has to do with the boom truck, I think.
I know that. Yeah, but the nature of the business, the hours of the day, are people going to be coming visiting the office? Are other people going to be coming? Do you need extra parking? Because it's an home-based business with an office. So like we ask in all of the other home-based businesses, are the people going to be coming and going all day long? Extra parking required on the street? Those kinds of things. The information is not available this evening. I'd like to make a decision based on all of the information that we can gather. So if we could get that information before it comes back to council, I think that's what the motion would say on the floor.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Just so you know, though, I guess in terms of the background, there isn't any mention of parking available for visitors. So again, the reasonable assumption is that it is for the commercial
Yes,
vehicles.
yes. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, okay, so we'll vote on that. In favor of postponing, say aye.
Aye.
Counter-minded? Counter-minded here, too. Carried. Okay. Deputy Mayor, we have a confirmation of an order for 61 Valley Road.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Confirmation order 61 Valley Road. Since the previous meeting of council, the following order was issued by Department of Community Engineering, Development and Planning, and therefore must be confirmed by council pursuant to section 109(4) of the Urban and Rural Planning Act. The order 2205-05, the date of issue was October the 11th, 2022. The civic address and location was 61 Valley Road, and the violation was Section 5 of the Occupancy and Maintenance Regulation. Section 109 of the Urban and Planning Act 2000 requires that all orders be issued by the authority be confirmed by the majority of council at the next meeting of a council after the order is made. If the order is not confirmed by council in this matter, it shall be considered to be cancelled. So the proposed resolution, in accordance with Section 109.4 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act, the following order is hereby confirmed by council, Order 2022-05. I so move.
Okay, seconder.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any questions on this one?
Yes, Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Just how long have we been dealing with this particular property? Can somebody mention, because I remember going back years, people complained about rats and things like that in this building. I believe it's the same one I'm thinking of. And I'm just wondering how long we've dealt with this, and perhaps the director can give us, and give residents, some indication of the frustration and the time and the effort it takes to deal with a single property such as this one.
Mr. Charters?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I can speak to the timeline, but Director Flynn can probably speak more about the frustration of dealing with properties. Staff told me today it's been ongoing for about 10 years or more, since it operated as a convenience store, so.
Okay.
As for the pest issues around the property, we have had several complaints. We deal with them over the past several years as they come in. This has been an ongoing one, that's for sure.
So, Mr. Mayor, just to continue with that line of commentary, it's been roughly 10 years that we've been dealing with this property. We've had numerous complaints. The property now is to a point where I think the recommendation is either to fix it up or demolish it. So what are the next steps? Because if they're just going to go down and slap a bit of paint on it, put a bit of wood on it or something, plug a few holes, that's really not something that you would expect after 10 years of trying to get this property brought up to standard. There are residents around there, they have properties, they upkeep on their own, they pay the property taxes. I think they also have the right to know that this property owner is bringing their property up to standard. So I'm just wondering, would this property owner be required, if they wish to maintain the building and keep the building, to bring it up to meet today's current building codes if they're not going to demolish it? And do we have the authority and power to make that happen?
Choose, do paper, rock, scissors.
I told them before we started we're going to have some hard questions.
Yeah.
There is a process. It's a lengthy process, but it is possible. We have dealt with properties before, but we haven't traveled down that road as such with this property as of yet. We usually limit those types of escalations to where there's safety concerns and things like that. I'm not sure this property falls in that realm as of yet, but it may, I don't know.
Yeah.
And Mr. Mayor, just one final question. Is this an abandoned property? Like, is it in use for any sort? Is there electricity to the property? Is there anybody living in it? Is it being used for any purpose? Do we know?
Not to my knowledge, as I understand it, this is actually an estate property now, and the estate has reached out to staff, and they said they were willing to work with staff to bring it to the standard that we require.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Oh, last question, timeframes.
Do you do court dockets recently? Because if you notice in other properties that we've dealt with, depending on how compliant or how cooperative the person the order is given to, we could be years.
Well, not for my benefit, Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
but for residents who
Yeah.
are probably listening, what would be a reasonable timeframe to expect any action on this? Or are we looking at, do we have to go to court next and so on?
Hopefully, I guess, Mr. Flynn can speak to it, if we do get some compliance, which we, again, try to get first, then it could be dealt with very quickly.
For sure, compliance is always the easiest.
But recent issues, Mr. Flynn, we've dealt with property-specific issues.
Yes, we have had a recent property we've escalated to council and asked for council's authority to move in and deal with the situation. At some point, if we didn't get compliance here, we can do the same here. But that is a legal process, and there's a lot to it. So,
Years, we're talking years sometimes. So,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
And Mr. Mayor, it says here that we're going to be doing an inspection on November the 18th. Is that realistic? Yeah? To comply
Yeah, and
by
that's,
November 17th, which seems soon to me.
but that's the nature of the order, and I guess if they don't comply, then we'll have
Oh,
further action.
I'd listen. The
Yeah.
sooner the better, obviously.
I think the point is, after that date, it may take a very long time. If it proceeds to the legal system, it may take a long time. We're hoping that's not the case. Like I said, the state has reached out to staff and said they're willing to work with us to comply.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Mayor and Mr. Chairman.
Okay, any other questions before we vote? This is an easy one, I think. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Next, a request to purchase city land off Mayfair. Councillor Pender.
This is the water. I read it, and I think we're going to drink water off Mayfair. But Land Management was approached by the Bay of Islands Radio Inc., BOIR, and they requested to purchase city land located off Mayfair Avenue for the purpose of installing a new transmitter site to improve their coverage. The Bay of Islands Radio is a non-profit community radio station broadcasting to Corner Brook and the Bay of Islands area. The Bay of Islands Radio has been planning to strengthen its FM broadcast signal, allowing its signal to better penetrate buildings and reach further out the Bay of Islands and into the Humber Valley. Part of upgrading the signal will involve relocating their existing transmitter site, currently housed at the city's building on Premier Drive, a former fire hall. Through research and coverage mapping, through research and coverage mapping conducted by the Bay of Islands Radio, it was determined that the hill off Mayfair Avenue in Corner Brook was the best location to relocate their transmitter. This location was previously used as a transmitter site for another radio station, and after the demolition of that site, the road and power infrastructure remained, which, along with its location, makes this a natural site for Bay of Islands Radio's new transmitter site. The parcel in question is a part of a larger parcel that the city obtained in 1977 and has been vacant and covered with natural vegetation since purchase. The parcel has an approximate size of 100 square meters. If approved, some conditions of the sale would include: first, if a survey is needed to complete the sale, then it is the responsibility of the buyer. And secondly, the use shall remain as a transmitter site for 10 years. So be it resolved to approve the execution of the purchase and sale agreement between the City of Corner Brook and the Bay of Islands Radio Inc. for city land located off Mayfair Avenue. I so move.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Questions on this one?
No question, Mr. Mayor, but a comment. I have no issues with supporting this request. I think the Bay of Islands Radio is a great radio station, and unfortunately, sometimes you just can't pick it up when you're just driving up the highway, but with this new transmitter, it will have further reach. So, great group of volunteers, great radio station. It's all about our local content. Reaches people up and down the Bay of Islands, out the Bay of Islands and Corner Brook. So I support that proposal.
Here, here.
Yep, Mr. Mayor, it's appropriate because I drove up the highway last night and I was listening to Bay of Islands Radio until I got to about Shelburne Island. And that was it. I couldn't pick it up anymore after that. So it would be nice to see them extend their coverage. They're, I guess, in terms of day-long radio or whatever, they're the only radio station now that we have, I'm going to say 24/7 with local coverage. So very pleased to see this initiative by a group of volunteers who started with very little. And we put them in an office over on the end of Brook Street in the city building, and they've been growing ever since. So kudos to them.
And they're broadcasting this right now.
Yes, they
They're
are.
really- they're everywhere.
Absolutely.
They are.
Any other questions? Okay, and I think I think it's pretty safe that the land at this point is not going to be something that we're concerned about impeding any kind of development or anything for quite some time, so. Okay, are we ready to vote? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Okay, and before we get to the last item, I was just reflecting on what I said earlier to Deputy Mayor when I asked her if she knew what her role is as a councillor. I don't know what exactly I said, but it was rhetorical, and I could see how she would take it as being somehow, I don't know, saucy or questioning her intelligence or something like that. And you know what, I can see that, and for that, and thinking about what you said earlier, Bill, I think it's only appropriate that I apologize for that, sincerely. I shouldn't have said that. I didn't, appreciate you, where I perceived you picking a scab of council, something, a touchy item for sure. And again, we have members of the gallery here from the concerned citizens for the crematorium, of course. It's not something that I want to, to inflame council anymore, of course. So I said that in a way that was, again, I agree, could have been perceived as lashing out. So again, I'm very sorry about that. And moving right on to that.
You're out.
You're out. We have a part of our Section 28 of the City of Corner Brook Act. Council is required to conduct an annual election for the position of deputy mayor. Customarily, of course, it is bestowed upon the councillor who does receive the most votes in the election. So I will ask now for a nomination for deputy mayor.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes?
Yeah, I would like to nominate the existing deputy mayor to carry on her role as deputy mayor.
Okay.
With this order.
Okay, no, that's perfect. I got to call 3 times, so I'll call again. Are there any other nominations for deputy mayor? One more time. Any other nominations for deputy mayor? Well, it's the longest 3 nominations that Councillor Deputy Mayor Chase on. Deputy Mayor, I got to ask, where did that thing come from?
To remind you, Mr. Mayor, because you continuously forget to address me as deputy mayor.
There you go.
If we're
So I think
everything on the table tonight.
There's license for everyone if they want to get their own sign in front, to bring their
shop
own.
has them.
I was going to say, or you can do something more creative maybe as Halloween's coming up too, so to decorate your stall.
I've seen you haven't missed tonight calling me deputy mayor since I put it there. So
That's right. How could I miss it? Okay, so if there is no other, so again, congratulations. There you go. Yes.
I'd just like to, if I could say something right now. I had the privilege Saturday night to attend, apparently it's a committee from the Corner Brook High. I hope I get this right because I really mean well with this. And the committee is working for a better tomorrow, and they started out last year, they had 10 members. I think they're up to 17 now. And they're raising money for the people in Port aux Basques. And honestly, we're down there, and the kids were there, and they were helping out, and they're dancing the eyes to buy, and it was such an uplifting for me. You know, like when we all worry about where our kids are going, and we're all concerned, and to see that, and to see the committee growing, and apparently they go into the long-term care, they sit with people, they're just all over the city doing good things, and like I said, the numbers are growing. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them. I think the young lady that came up with the idea, it was Miss, I hope I get this right, Abby Walshman. I don't know, yeah. And it was just, honestly, it was such an uplift to me as a counselor, as a resident, as a father, as a grandfather, who, you know, we have our kids and we're concerned about what the future holds for them. And after that Saturday night, I think we're fine. I really think we're fine. I think, you know, we hear so much of the but I just thought I should mention that it was what an uplift.
Nope, good.